Hey everybody, so today's message is on obedience. I have one verse and I'm going to read it in the beginning and then I'll read it after. Sorry, this is a really big lesson for me today, and the Lord asked me to do something today. And I'm really nervous and it's really outside of my comfort zone. And so I will explain what it is. And I don't know. I feel like if you're watching this video, it's because you've been asked to do something too. And just know that you're not alone. And that sometimes we get asked to do things that's outside of our comfort zone. And it might not even, be that big of a deal. But to us on the inside, it's kind of tough sometimes. The Lord said that He would give us the Holy Ghost, which is our comforter. And so for us to be comforted, we have to step outside of our comfort zone. And a lot of the times, well, really about 90% of the time, after we do it, we're like, that was easy. But whenever we're in the moment, it's pretty tough. So Romans 5:19, for as by one man's disobedience, many were made sinners, so by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous. So I had a really super awesome experience with the Lord on Sunday morning. I felt the power and the presence of the Holy Spirit unlike anything I've ever had in my entire life. It was beautiful. So he literally shook me. Like physically shook me. I have another video that I made on things to be shaken. I explained it all in there. So I was on my way home from church Sunday morning, and I still just felt the presence of the Lord, and I told Him that I wanted more of Him, and that I know that the manifestations are on the outside, but I wanted Him on more of the inside, and to plant deeper roots inside of me, because the branches are just on the outside, but we don't grow branches. We grow our roots and the branches grow themselves. The fruit is just a product of what the inside shows, or I'm sorry, what the inside is. And so he spoke, he answered me. So I talk to Him all the time. And whenever you learn to listen to His voice and you know His voice, you truly have conversations with Him. It's not just a monologue that's one way. It's a dialogue. It's a two-way thing. And so He answered back to me, and He said, I long to pour myself into you. Receive me. And I feel like it's those simple statements that are so profound to us, because we know that Jesus died and came on, that He came and died on the cross for us. But whenever we think about, Him longing to pour Himself into us, like, we know it, but we don't process it the way that we should. And I made Him a promise a long time ago that I wanted to show Him I'm as serious for Him as He is for me. And yeah. And so I was praying, a little bit later, and just talking with Him, and really just telling Him how much I love Him and I appreciate Him and everything. And He told me, He said, revival is here. Obedience is required. My presence is here. I long to pour myself into you and overflow your soul. Consecrate yourself to me and I will show you great things. And I immediately felt like I was supposed to share with my church, like the congregation. And it's very outside of my comfort zone. Don't get me wrong, I know just about everybody. And we have a couple hundred people. But that's just it's kind of scary, to be 100% honest. And the fact that He said, I long to pour myself into you. So He said that was the second time that He had said that. And whenever he says something twice, it has a lot of meaning to it. So like Jesus, you know, whenever he said, Martha, Martha. And whenever the Lord repeats himself, it's a for sure thing. And he's trying to get your attention. You know, like if you have a kid who's running around and playing and they're doing all this stuff, and you say, Sarah, and then, you know, just keep going. And then, you know, you say it twice, Sarah, Sarah. And they just kind of stop. And they look at you and they're like, yes. You know, and it's a way to get our attention and to show the sincerity and the depth of the message being said. And so the fact that he said it twice within the same day, like within a couple hours of each other, it had a lot of weight and a lot of gravity to what he said. And so like I said, I kind of knew already that I was supposed to share. And also, you know, I've been making these videos, and I just knew, but I wasn't. So sometimes he'll tell us things that are just for us, and then sometimes he'll tell us things that we're supposed to share. And it's very important to shut your mouth on the things that he tells you to keep to yourself. For example, Jesus healed several people in the Bible, and there's a good handful of them that he said, don't tell anybody. And they did. It said they immediately like went off and told people. And there was one man that Jesus healed, and Jesus told him not to tell anybody. And it said that he went and told people, and it said Jesus couldn't even go into the city. And so there was the story of the man who needed healing, and he was by the pool where the angels would come and get in, you know, touch the water, get in the water or something. And then the first people, or the first person to get in the water, got healed. And so Jesus walked up to this man and he said, you know, like, do you want to be healed? And the man, you know, this is Elisa's paraphrase, said, like, yes, but I'm not fast enough. Like, people always beat me and get in there. And so Jesus helped him and healed him. But back to our first story, by that one man not keeping his mouth shut, and he went and told everybody, he said Jesus couldn't go into the city. So all the people who couldn't help themselves got left behind because of one man's disobedience, which goes back to, you know, our verse, by one man's disobedience. And it's critical to do what he tells you. Whenever Jesus turned water into wine, Mary told the servants, whatever he tells you to do, do it. And so it's very, very crucial and critical that we do as we're told. And the hard things that are outside of our comfort zone are the toughest, I feel like. And I have been told to keep my mouth shut on a couple of things, and it was tough. It was literally a whole lot harder than I thought it would have been. And I think part of it was a lesson being learned, because I'll be like, you know, I'd be reading my Bible, like, why can't these people keep their mouth shut? But when Jesus heals you and you have this big revelation and he tells you, shh, it is so intense to keep it inside. You literally feel like you're going to explode. But it is critical that we do as we're told. And so I texted my pastor. So we are giving our leaders and our pastors, the good ones, for a specific reason, because they are our shepherds, and we go to them for counsel and for direction. I mean, we go to him, but he has appointed them to be above us. And so I had texted my pastor. I'm like, hey, look, this is the situation. I've never had anything like this before. Oh, so last night, so we're in the middle of revival right now. We're having a 3-night revival, and last night was night 2. And the Lord spoke. There was a message in tongues, and it was interpreted. And the Lord said, be obedient and hear my voice. Be obedient. And it hit me like a freight train, because I felt like I was disobedient, because I did not share my message that I felt like I was supposed to. And so I text my pastor, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I said the message was given last night, and it literally like cut through my chest. I said, please pray about it. If you feel like I am supposed to give my message and share my verse, please, let me know, and I will. I said, and if not, if you think that it's supposed to just be for me, I said, I will keep it to myself. And he texted me back and he said, I'll give you an opportunity tonight to share your piece. And so now I'm really nervous. Not nervous. I know it's just the devil, because my grandma tells me if we're supposed to do something, the devil wouldn't fight us so hard on it. I'm sorry, if we're not supposed to do something, the devil wouldn't fight us so hard. But if we are supposed to do something, this is our battleground. And so, the anxiousness and all this stuff, and being anxious is just floating fear, and it's dumb. And whenever this is all over, I know I'm going to be proud of myself because I did what I was supposed to do. And so another thing, I know I've talked about it before, is if you don't know what to do, be still. Be patient and wait. God says, be still and know that I'm God. So I didn't know if I was supposed to share with everybody. I didn't want to disrupt the service. And so I was still and I waited. And then, like I said, he gave me this verse on being obedient. And then he spoke and said, be obedient and hear my voice last night. And it's overwhelming reassurance. And I know what I'm supposed to do. So I know I always say, I'll pray for y'all, and I will, but y'all pray for me today too. So again, I'm going to read it. Romans 5:19. For as by one man's disobedience, many were made sinners, so by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous. And so whatever the Lord is asking you to do, whether it be to text somebody and say, hey, I'm praying for you today, or whether it be to, all right, I'm going to tell you a quick story. There's a man, and he didn't feel like God spoke to him anymore. And so, he didn't even know if God spoke at all anymore. And so he was in service, and he said, Lord, if you still speak to people, please speak to me and give me something to do. I want to serve you, and please let me serve you. And so on his way home, he felt like he had this voice, and I don't know, just a thought or something to turn down this street and go to the store, and to go get a gallon of milk. He was like, I don't need any milk. And so right whenever he had passed the street, and so he felt it even heavier. And so he was like, okay. And so he was like, God, I don't know if this is you or not, but I'd rather listen and it be you than to not listen and be disobedient and miss what you're telling me to do. And so he turned around, went to the store and got milk. He's like, I have no idea why I went and got this milk. And so he was on his way home, and same thing. He had, this feeling that he was supposed to make a left. And he was like, I have no idea. I don't even know where that street goes. Never been down that street. That's not how I go home. It won't take me home. God, if this is you, I'd rather be obedient than be disobedient and miss what you're telling me to do. So he turned it and he went. And so, he got halfway down the street, and he felt like he was supposed to stop. And he was like, this is so weird. This is so weird. This makes absolutely no sense. And he pulled over and he stopped. And then he felt like he was supposed to take that gallon of milk over to that house. And he was like, God, if this is you, it is 10 o'clock at night. If there's anybody in there, I'm going to wake them up, and they're probably sleeping, and they're going to get mad, and this isn't a good side of town. I don't know what I'm doing here. And he just starts rolling and rolling and rolling with all these excuses, all these things, all these pieces, and blah, 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 blah. So finally he said, okay, God, if this is you, I trust you. I know I asked you to please speak to me. So he gets up to the house, and he knocks on the door, and probably pretty quick, he hears a voice like, who is it? What do you want? And the man's like, what did you do? And so he said, I have a gallon of milk for you. And in his head, he's like, this is dumb. This makes no sense. And so immediately the door opened and he saw a little short man and just left the door open and took off up the stairs. And so the guy's standing there like, what just happened? And so he's just holding this milk. And the next thing you know is the man comes back down and a lady carrying a baby, and they're both just bawling. And he said, we were literally just upstairs praying that the Lord would bring milk because we have no food and we have our baby who's hungry. So by that man's obedience, many were saved. And their faith was built up beyond anything that he ever could have imagined. And so on his way home, he was so proud of himself, and he said, Lord, you do still speak. And you fed that baby tonight. And so I pray for you in Jesus' name and for myself that we hear the voice of the Lord and be obedient and ask him for his reassurance. And he will not embarrass you. He will not embarrass you. We may feel embarrassed, but it's more embarrassing if we disobey the voice of the King than it is to be obedient and to get over ourselves. Because our flesh is the only thing holding us back. Our spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And we have to step out of our comfort zone in order to be comforted. So take this step. Pray about it. Ask him for your assignment and hear his voice. And I love you all, my friends, and with Christian love. And the best is yet to come. And hang on, the revival is here. And be obedient. Be obedient. It is required. I'm going to read his message that he said to me one more time. I feel like I'm supposed to. Revival is here. Obedience is required. My presence is here. I long to pour myself into you and overflow your soul. Consecrate yourself to me, and I will show you great things. And I actually had to look up the definition of consecrate because I really wasn't sure what it meant. And it's to fully dedicate yourself to something. So fully dedicate yourself to him and be obedient, and he will show you great things. Jeremiah 33:3 says, call unto me and I will show you great and mighty things which you do not know. It's a promise. And his promises don't fail. So y'all have a very blessed day, and the best is yet to come. And I'm very excited to see what he has y'all doing. We're all the bride. We're all the bride of Christ, and Jesus is coming soon. Bye.